everyone. Thanks for joining us and welcome to the 2020 public meeting webinar on the presentation topic, Air Pollution Prevention. What does it mean to you? My name is Maylin Wilbert and I am the Stormwater Department Manager for the City of Memphis Division of Public Works. I'm going to be presenting during the first segment of this webinar to talk to you all about our department and why we exist. And during the second segment, Ms. Yvette Sonia Holmes will be talking about and highlighting the importance of stormwater runoff quality and also talk to y'all about our public education outreach programs that we offer. But before we get started, we ask that you please mute your cell phones, your computer, and your tablets to prevent any unnecessary noises from coming through. Also, if you have any questions at any time during this presentation, please use the chat feature on this platform to submit them, and we will answer those questions during the Q&A session at the end of our presentation. If there are any questions that we don't get to today, or if you're having any technical difficulties in submitting your questions, or perhaps you have some questions that you think about after this presentation is over, feel free to send us those questions via our email. And our email address is stormwater@memphistn.gov. Alternately, you can call us at 901-636-4349. After our presentation is over, we will be posting a survey. It's going to be through SurveyMonkey on our website, and that website is memphisstormwater.com. There's actually two surveys, and you're not required to take both. One survey is a quiz to test your knowledge on the topics that we're going to be talking about today. And then the other survey is provides you the opportunity to provide us your feedback and comments of how we can further assist you and also to improve our stormwater program. And as a thank you for participating in the survey, we will be giving away gifts to everyone that does submit them. However, for the first 20 participants, they will receive an additional 20-ounce stainless steel insulated tumbler. And so the survey ends July 2nd by 3 p.m. Central Daylight Time. I'll be showing y'all some of what these items look like at the end of the presentation. However, in the meantime, please use your chat feature to answer the poll question, who is in our audience today? And I'll just give you folks a few moments to respond. All right, so based on the responses that I received, it looks like we have a very diverse group with us today. This is awesome because this is the type of participation we do want to have because of the topics that we're going to be talking about today. So with any successful organization, there's a mission. The city's mission is improving the quality of life for Memphians every day. So for the stormwater department, that means minimizing and preventing pollutants in stormwater runoff that enters our stormwater drainage system, which in turn improves the water quality of our surrounding lakes, rivers, and streams. We want a cleaner, greener city with awareness that every citizen can make a positive impact on the water quality that flows down our streets, enters the Memphis stormwater drainage system, and ultimately discharges to the Mississippi River down to the Gulf of Mexico. So today's objective is to learn to be aware of and recognize the conditions that could result in pollution entering the Memphis stormwater drainage system. Also, as we go through these slides, especially when Ms. Holmes talks about the common types of pollution that we encounter, ask yourself this question: what can I do to help prevent pollution? Because if we change the way we think in terms of water pollution prevention or stormwater runoff quality, then we can change our behavior. And changing our behavior is really crucial in helping to protect our waterways. So to accomplish our mission and objectives, the Stormwater Department team was formed. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Maylin Wilbert and I am the Stormwater Department Manager. Heather Holtz is the Environmental Technical Manager. Shirley Palmer is a support service analyst. The environmental project coordinators, Chan Higginbottom, Jack Nix, Jennifer Kisner Johnson, Joshua Hatchett, Pam Riddick Carroll, Tammy Richardson, Stephanie Hardy, Yvette Holmes, and our summer intern that we have this year, William Gordy, are crucial in the implementation of the various programs of the Stormwater Department. So the City of Memphis Stormwater Department was created in 1996 to impose controls in reducing pollutant discharges into our stormwater drainage system to the maximum extent practicable. We are a federally mandated program through the Clean Water Act, which is administered by the Environmental Protection Agency. So the Clean Act establishes the basic structure for regulating the discharge of pollutants into waters of the United States, and also regulating the water quality standards of surface water. So the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, in accordance with EPA rules, issued the City of Memphis what's called a National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit, or what we refer to as the NPDES permit. This permit requires the city to develop and implement a stormwater management plan to control the quality of stormwater runoff discharged to the stormwater drainage system within our jurisdictional area. So our NPDES permit has 6 minimum control measures that we have to meet. So the first one is public education and outreach. This is where we inform the public on ways to reduce and prevent stormwater pollution. We do this through brochures, promotional item giveaways, advertisements, press releases, our stormwater website, and also through our educational programs. Our second requirement is public participation and involvement. This is where we involve the public on the development and implementation of stormwater pollution prevention. So we typically hold meetings by partnering with other events, but with COVID-19, we are doing a live webinar like we're doing right now. The third requirement is illicit discharge detection and elimination, or IDDE. This is where we identify and eliminate illicit discharges to our stormwater drainage systems. And examples of this will be discussed later by Ms. Holmes during her segment of the presentation. The next requirement is construction site runoff control. This is where we review erosion control plans to ensure that the plans submitted are accurate and have the adequate erosion prevention sediment control measures. And we also conduct inspections of active construction sites to ensure that the site operators are implementing appropriate measures to prevent muddy water from leaving their site and entering our stormwater drainage system. Our fifth requirement is post-construction site runoff control. This is where we review post-construction plans to ensure that the plans submitted are accurate, and we also conduct inspections of retention and detention basins to ensure that these structural control measures are properly being maintained and also functioning properly. And the sixth element is good housekeeping. So this is where we conduct inspections of our own municipal facilities to ensure that we ourselves are implementing appropriate best management practices to minimize and prevent stormwater pollution. We also develop and maintain their stormwater pollution prevention plans and conduct training on stormwater pollution prevention. Other requirements that we also have is issuing enforcement as necessary. For example, the Stormwater Department may issue civil penalties for violations of the city ordinances, ranging from $50 up to $5,000 per day for the violation. So this is a fun fact that I wanted to share with you all today about Memphis. This is on Gayoso Bayou. So Gayoso Bayou was once this wide swamp in a natural waterway on the eastern side of what's now downtown Memphis. Well, in the 1870s, Memphis was plagued with very unhealthy conditions, largely because of its geographical setting. The bayou provided drainage for the city, and it posed a lot of serious health hazards. The Mississippi River would frequently back up into the bayou and overflow its banks, while the water deposited slime and filth in the low-lying areas when the water levels receded. And during dry periods, the bayou became pretty much a series of foul, stagnant pools. And to add to that problem, because of the humid climate, lack of sewers, and poor waste disposal, the city's streets, their alleys, and the gutters, they were filled with a lot of garbage and refuse. And so these conditions produced periodic outbreaks of yellow fever and waterborne diseases. Well, in 1878, there was a yellow fever epidemic that killed nearly 5,000 people out of the 40,000 residents that lived in Memphis at that time. So fast forward, the city recognized the need to get their sanitary sewage away from their water sources. Back then, it was primarily the small private wells, and also clean up the Gayosa Bayou. So by the 1880s, the separate sanitary sewer system was created and implemented. In fact, Memphis, Tennessee is considered to be the first community in the United States to have a separate sanitary sewer system and is referred to as the Memphis model. So there you have it, the Gayosa Bayou is our history. As the city expanded east, engineers channeled and covered the bayou, working around what's already there. The bayou is about 4 miles long and it's critical to the drainage of our city. It drains the eastern half part of downtown and western half of the Memphis center. So developed after the yellow fever epidemic, Memphis has a separate sewer system. We have the sanitary sewer system, and then we have the storm sewer system. You may have heard it called our MS4, or it stands for Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System. So the diagram on the left-hand side of this photo is an example of the sanitary sewer system. It's a system of underground pipes that carry sewage and wastewater to a wastewater treatment plant where it's filtered, it's treated, and then it's discharged ultimately to the Mississippi River. So examples of sewage water would be the water that comes out from the bathrooms, your sinks, your kitchens, and any kind of plumbing components in the household. The diagram on the right-hand side of this photo is an example of the storm sewer system. It's a system designed to carry stormwater to the nearest lake, river, or stream, and eventually to the ocean, and it's untreated. That is the key word. So that's why it's incredibly important that we do our part to prevent pollution from entering our stormwater drainage systems, because what we do on land affects the water quality of our surrounding lakes, rivers, and streams. So stormwater runoff comes into contact with pollutants that it encounters along the way, and this can affect the biological, chemical, and physical health of the receiving stream. Examples of these pollutants include cigarette butts, trash, litter, yard debris, or any kind of chemicals just being dumped into the ground. So just remember, only rain should go down the storm drain, because fish and aquatic life rely on water quality to thrive and sustain healthy populations. Pollutants can harm the fish and aquatic life and can also make our waterways unsuitable for fish consumption and recreation. So these are more examples of our stormwater drainage systems. For clarification, stormwater drainage systems are storm drains, they're gutters, they're drainage ditches, open channels, and culverts that I'm sure you all have seen throughout the city that convey storm water or rainwater into the nearest lake, river, stream, and eventually to the ocean, again, untreated. So like I mentioned earlier, our mission is to protect, maintain, and enhance the environment of the city of Memphis, and also the health, safety, and general welfare of its citizens by controlling the discharges of pollutants into our MS4. So our mission is also to maintain and improve the quality of the receiving waters into which surface water flows. So public education and outreach and public participation and involvement are requirements of the city's NPDES permit. And the city feels that the more we educate our citizens, we have a better chance in accomplishing our mission. The city provides education to citizens of all ages on environmental issues related to stormwater pollution and how it impacts their environment. So with that said, Ms. Holmes will now talk to you all about that information.
Thanks, Maylin. As mentioned, public education and outreach are required by our permit with the state. And as an innate zoologist and educator, I fully believe that the more we educate our citizens, the young and the not as young, the better we can all help to reach our mission goal. The Stormwater Department has participated in many public events and campaigns throughout the years, such as festivals, community meetings, cleanups, and Adopt a Storm Drain, to name a few. And we hope to continue to do so in the future. But today we want to focus on our education programs for elementary through high school students. First of all, we offer stormwater awareness lessons that can coincide with the Tennessee curriculum standards or next generation science standards, and we are eager to work with educators to do so. Pre-COVID-19 included classroom visits with storytelling time, games, or multiple hands-on experiences like water testing, watershed model exploration, etc., or participating in field trips on school campus or abroad. But post-COVID may be a mixture of PowerPoints, video conferencing, virtual field trips, or other distance learning methods, and perhaps more classroom competitions. I'm looking forward to more outdoor classroom visitations because the best way to learn about your environment is to be in it, because outdoor classroom settings offer multiple benefits academically, emotionally, socially, and physically. And due to the current health climate, it may be more advantageous. And because I like to have fun while I'm teaching. I'm not a fan of the back to normal phrase. I'm pushing for a new progression phrase. So bring on the inside, outside, and virtual learning. I'm excited to work with teachers in enriching their curriculum this year and in years to come. With all age groups, I start with the basic concepts to ensure that we all begin with the same foundation upon which to build knowledge, understanding, and respect for our planet. So why is stormwater education important? Let's talk about water availability. We think of our planet as the big blue planet, but this slide is a representation of how much water we actually have. So as you can see, 70% of the earth is covered by water. Well, you can't see according to this, but that's what they say. 97% of the earth's water is in our oceans, which is salt water, which we can't use. That leaves about 3% of Earth's fresh water on the planet as fresh water, which is water we can use. But 67% of the Earth's fresh water is frozen, so we still can't use it, which leaves us with roughly about 1% of the Earth's fresh water in our rivers and lakes. So this global illustration shows blue spheres or bubbles that show relative amounts of Earth's water in comparison to the size of the Earth. The largest bubble represents all of the water on, in, and above Earth. The smaller bubble represents Earth's fresh liquid water. And the teeny tiny bubble just above Florida represents the 1% of Earth's fresh water found in all of the lakes and rivers on the planet. Most of the people and life on Earth most of the water people and life on Earth need every day comes from these surface water sources. 30% of Earth's fresh water is located underground, and much of that is too deep and not available to humans, but we'll get back to that later. So, where does our water come from? Let's talk about the water cycle. There's a lot going on in a water cycle, but the basic processes are evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. Water cycles happen in natural and urban areas, and in both types, there's evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. But surface runoff and infiltration aspects also need to be considered. The Stormwater Department is a stormwater pollution regulatory entity and is concerned with the pollution of infiltration and stormwater runoff in the water cycle. In a natural water cycle, shown on the left, precipitation creates surface runoff where water runs across the land and vegetation, which slows the flow of surface runoff. Low flow allows water to infiltrate into the permeable ground in the earth, and the earth cleans possible pollutants from the water before returning the runoff to nearby rivers, lakes, oceans, or any other water bodies. In an urban water cycle, shown on the right, Precipitation creates surface runoff where water runs across the hard, impermeable surfaces like streets, parking lots, houses, schools, etc., where the water cannot infiltrate into the ground. Surface runoff is higher or faster. There is less infiltration, if any. Pollutants are not cleaned by the earth, but carried directly to nearby rivers or other water bodies. Water cycles happen on a watershed. A watershed is basically an area of land where stormwater falls and runs off or sheds to receiving rivers or other water bodies. Memphis is part of the Mississippi River watershed, with the river itself shown in the dark blue line. It is the largest watershed in the U.S. It drains 31 states and 2 Canadian provinces. We all live on a watershed, and we all have an effect on its water quality. So where does your stormwater shed? The map on the top left corner of the slide shows Memphis's 3 watersheds, which are named after the river to which they drain. The Loosahachie watershed at the top of the map drains to the Loosahachie River, which joins the Mississippi River in Fraser. The Wolf watershed in the middle of the map drains to the Wolf River and joins the Mississippi in downtown. And the Noncana watershed at the bottom of the map drains to the Noncana Creek, which is basically a river, and enters McKellar Lake, which then joins the Mississippi River in the southern portion of the map. In the top right corner, you see the location of Memphis in relation to other cities south of us along the Mississippi River and how it drains to the Gulf of Mexico. On the bottom left corner is a satellite photo of pollution from the Mississippi River into the Gulf of Mexico. And in the bottom right corner, you see a definite contrast in the polluted water and the rest of the Gulf and the Atlantic Ocean water. Many cities north and south of Memphis rely on the Mississippi River as their main water source for drinking and other water-related services. But Memphis is very fortunate to receive our drinking water from our share of the 30% underground fresh water on the planet. We use water from the Memphis Sands Aquifer. On the right side of the slide, you see a stream and a recharge area. A recharge area is an area where stormwater infiltrates into the ground and into an aquifer. This is another area where the stormwater department is concerned about possible polluted stormwater runoff infiltrating into the ground and possibly our aquifer. On the left side of the slide, you see a pump similar to how MLG&W retrieves our drinking water from the aquifer. Water from our aquifer has been cleaned by the earth over thousands of years and is some of the best water in the country. It is even bottled and sent to other states. The young lady on the right attended our Green Camp summer program and switched to tap water from bottled water once she became aware. She actually said the camp was life-changing because even though these topics were mentioned in school, the camp made them relevant. So why are we concerned about stormwater quality? Well, the city of Memphis does not treat stormwater runoff prior to discharge into the Mississippi River. That means that the stormwater runoff will pick up plenty of pollutants like fertilizers, pesticides, motor oil, pet waste, leaves, detergents, and much more. So we need all citizens to be aware of and reduce sources of commonly seen stormwater pollution in Memphis. There are 2 types of stormwater pollution, which we refer to as illicit discharges or IDs. They are point source pollution, where the origin of the pollution is known, historically from industries like factories, businesses, or presently from construction sites and some citizens. The other type of stormwater pollution is non-point source pollution, where the origin of the pollution cannot be definitively determined. Many times it's grass clippings or leaves that have been blown into the street or storm drains directly, or illegal dumping or littering, and cigarette butts are a major pollutant problem. Same goes for pet waste. Citizens are required to clean up after their pets. Ordinance 4538 section 33-20719 states that it is unlawful for any person to dispose domestic animal waste into the storm water drainage system, which basically means you need to clean up after your pets. Don't forget, Memphis also has a leash law and a large stray pet problem. So if your pet is running free or unsupervised in the neighborhood, it may be contributing to a stormwater pollution problem. We want citizens not only to be aware of and eliminate these common pollution violations, but to also report them to our office if they are seen. So what we do on land affects the water quality and habitat of our creeks, lakes, rivers, and oceans. And as you can see, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of excess nutrients and chemicals, excess trash, plastics in water bodies and oceans, littering in ditches or streams, and dumping in storm drains. Remember, only rain down the storm drain. Some of the after effects of our actions are improper disposal of trash and plastics and chemicals in the top left-hand corner have led to unsafe consumption of fish from our own rivers. In the middle two slides, the improper erosion prevention and sediment or dirt runoff control methods on a construction site leads to unhealthy water bodies and environments for animals and humans. And in the bottom slides, nutrients from decaying of excessive yard waste or discarded chemicals can lead to algae blooms and fish kills in a water body. Now, we can also have a positive effect by recycling, using rain barrels, installing rain gardens, mimicking the earth by using green infrastructure or low impact development methods, preserving our natural pollutant cleaners such as wetlands, or using appropriate prescribed erosion control methods on construction sites. Now, that's a cleaner, greener city that we would love to see. We are often taught to reduce, reuse, and recycle, but I encourage students to reduce, recycle, and reduce. As an earth enthusiast, I want all students to see how awesome our planet is, whether it be life in an acid desert, Superman's vacation home, plants that look like monkeys and monkeys with cool hairdos, truly funky chickens. The geyser in the upper right corner speaks for themselves. Earth has snakes that fly, clear frogs, walking leaves, real Dr. Seuss caves, and turtles that rock. I want students to appreciate our planet's diversity and respect for Earth's gifts. Earth fuels our imaginations and inspires solutions to most of our problems. I want students to rethink about how the planet works and how we can all work with the planet, not against it. Stormwater awareness can be made relevant in many, if not all, class subjects: language arts, math, lifetime wellness, fine arts, and engineering courses, to name a few. It can be equally relevant in social studies discussions or debates on water resource management, water rights, and methods of sustainability. So it's not just about science. Everything is connected, and we are all connected by water. So in addition to the various education opportunities the Stormwater Department has to offer, we have 3 levels of student engagement. Little Pollution Preventers is a program for elementary age students from pre-K to 5th grade. We introduce them to the concepts of storm drains, litter pollution, and its effect on animals in our environment. We have an art contest where students design a downstream friend of Gurgle the storm drain and show how pollution affects his friends. All participants get medals, but the winner gets a trophy, their animal in a comic strip placed in a Jabber Blabber and La Prensa Latina publications, their artwork, their name, and school name on a billboard within the city for all to see, and star in a public service commercial on TV and our website. Junior Water Warriors is a program for middle school age students. It is a project-based, hands-on program. The project can be based on an investigation at your school or a real-world problem. Students can explore their watershed, do a community service project through a schoolyard cleanup, or in conjunction with another community group or field trip, storm drain marking, water testing, or creating watershed model presentations. The Stormwater Department is also excited about our new venture in collaborating with the Perch Robo Nation program and Shelby County School students this year. Perch is an innovative underwater robotics program that teaches basic science concepts. There are challenges and competitions where students can apply technology to real-world solutions. I was never in STEM, but I already have a Perch kit that I'm working on at home. My son was in STEM or is in STEM, so I will enlist his help quite a bit. We want to challenge students to think, design, discuss, cooperate, and celebrate their accomplishments and their ideas, to see that they are lifelong learners, that they learn something new every day in different forms, and to make education more relevant. So why not watch a little exploration station on a Saturday morning? Encourage them to learn even when they're not at school. Nature Knows Best, DIY Sci, and Earth 2050 are a few of my personal favorites. Maybe students can earn extra credit for a report on what they learned or initiating a discussion about it in class. Today's students will not only aspire to work in tomorrow's green jobs, they will be the creators of them. We want to inspire them to start on them now, and we think Perch is a great start. Now that brings me to Green Camp. Green Camp is a summer program for high school age students. Green Camp is a free summer program where students are invited to participate in hands-on learning in relation to stormwater awareness and environmental issues, stormwater pollution prevention, engineering, chemistry, urban development, and sustainability. Keep in mind that I would love to still teach your students throughout the school year as a precursor to Green Camp, in which most of the background information could be covered and would free up more time to do activities and have more discussions during the camp. During Green Camp, students embark on a one-week scientific study comparing the effects on stormwater quality within rural and urban watersheds. We go to many locations within and outside of the city to investigate parameters of water quality in streams or rivers. We perform chemical and biological testing and learn a little history about our city. We provide all the materials needed, t-shirts, backpacks, transportation, and lunch. Students participate in a community service cleanup, earn a certificate, and 35 community service hours. Students are encouraged to write a scientific paper, which, if it qualifies, will be published on the Stormwater website, or they can create a trifold or a watershed model presentation. However, this year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are offering the camp virtually. So students will follow me via video conferencing or virtual live tour to the same destinations as pre-COVID camps. There will still be opportunities to perform hands-on activities live and on their own. I'm not tech savvy, but I'm excited to see how this goes and about its future possibilities. And to be clear, we want non-science oriented students as well as science students. Instinctually, we're all scientists from birth. Science is curiosity. Science is making observations and trying to make sense of them. So no matter their career choice, technology, politics, art, entertainment, education, law, business, medicine, sports, engineering, etc., students need to know how the planet works to understand their place in it and their effects on it so they can make good, constructive, fair, sustainable decisions for themselves, society, and the planet. We are incorporating more time for reflection and discussion this year, encouraging and modeling responsible consumer choices and problem solving, public speaking, advocacy, creativity, and most importantly, having fun while doing so. For more information about the Stormwater Department's public education or outreach programs, you can reach me at the phone number or email contact below. And now I will turn it back over to Mrs. Wilbert.
Thank you, Ms. Holmes. So at this time, we will be answering questions. As a reminder, please keep your devices on mute and only submit your questions through the chat feature. Again, if there are any questions that we don't get to today, or if you are having any technical issues, or perhaps you think of new questions after this webinar is over, you can submit your questions via email, and that email address again is stormwater@memphistn.gov. Or you can give us a call at 901-636-4349. Or you can also visit our website to learn more about our department and also obtain our contact information that way. All right, so please give us a moment while we retrieve our questions. So our first question is, if I witness an illicit discharge, can I remain anonymous? Yes, absolutely. Providing your contact information is not a requirement. However, if you want to follow up regarding that complaint, you will need to call us back, and we would be happy to provide you with that information. All right, our next question is, when is the deadline to sign up for Green Camp? Ms. Holmes?
The deadline for Green Camp is April 17th, so it is already passed for this summer, and it's every April. I think the applications go out in like mid or beginning of February. So that again is why I would love to come to your schools and talk to your students more about stormwater awareness and get their interest in the Green Camp.
All right, so I don't see any other questions. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, we'll move on. All right, so as a reminder, again, please visit our website at memphisstormwater.com and complete our survey. So when you get to our website, you'll need to go to the top of the page, and what you'll see is a banner that says, "Did you watch our webinar? Take our survey." All you'll need to do is click the banner and it'll take you directly to the survey. And just remember, the survey ends July 2nd by 3 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And as a thank you for taking our survey, everyone will receive a prize for submitting it. And some of the prizes included will be, hang on just a second. Some of these prizes that will be included will be a reusable tote bag, a stainless steel straw, an umbrella, and many more amazing items that we hope you guys will enjoy. However, again, as a reminder, for the first 20 people that do submit them, they will receive an additional 20-ounce stainless steel insulated tumbler. So these are just some of the sneak peek of some of the awesome prizes that we're giving away, and the rest will be just left as a surprise. But before we end our webinar today, we'd like to leave you all with a maxim. Be a solution to water pollution. Collectively and individually, we have a great responsibility to help keep our waterways clean. If we all do just a little, together we can give a lot. Thank you all again for participating in this webinar, and be safe. Bye, everyone.